Good afternoon. I had planned to film this earlier this week, but we've had some rain. I can't even open my gate. My gate is swelling so bad. Oh, the thing got dipped. So I'm gonna have to see how much rain we got. Yesterday I dumped out my rain gauge at 5 inches. It's literally poured all day, but my husband was just out here, so he dumped it. But big things have changed this week. This week will also be the test, like, does my garden make it through the rain? We are having like weeks of lots of rain. I've changed some things, I've planted some things. Let me show you what's going on, but like, cross your fingers, my garden survives the rain. It has been a lot of rain. We've probably had some states worth of rain in this past week. So this is what August is like. August, September, and October are very rainy for us. It's normally the peak of hurricane season. Hurricane season ends the end of November. So, you know, it's just how it goes. So let me show you what's going on. I see some weeds that have grown and I probably should have picked that I have not. So let's see what's going on. Can you? That's what's going on right now. So much rain. But anywho, here is my typical tomato bed. Do you notice anything? Well, last week we had so much rain that most of my zinnias growing were laying on the ground. So right now they're still kind of in a pile right there. Would you believe it? They haven't died because we're getting so much rain. Some of them have actually started to re-bloom laying on the ground. Like, look at this. New bloom, new bloom. There's blooms over there. So this should be dead, and it's not, because we've gotten enough rain to keep it alive. If it keeps growing and blooms, I guess I'll just pick some more flowers. Okay, so here it is. I mean, there are still flowers growing. It does also make it a little easier to get into it, which is probably what I should have done. I just didn't want to. I mean, I love looking at all these beautiful little ones. Look at this one. It's about to fully open. I do have tomato blooms on this one here. I have some here. I have quite a few tomato blooms on this one, I believe. Excuse me, I'm hiccuping. This one is the cherry tomato. And then if I come over here, this is just a jumbled mess. And at one point in time, my kids had planted a squash in here. So down here in the bottom, I have a patty pan squash growing. And then I have tomatoes here growing. And look at this. I have just tomatoes on the top of my little greenhouse. So they're just growing. I kind of want to pick them to ripen on my counter, but I'm kind of just letting them go. But this thing goes here. I'm just letting it go. I'm more interested in seeing how long it goes. We built this little greenhouse a few years ago. Right now it just holds my, you know, those random garden supplies that end up everywhere. By the end of the year, right now, it really needs a clean out, so don't look at it. But let's go over here. So I got a couple of elderberries, and this one, I don't know if it's gonna make it. Nothing is there. This one has a few leaves. So I'm hoping they will make it with the amount of rain we've had, or the amount of rain we've had has just killed them. So that's where this fun thing is going. So I have lilies. I think that's what they are. They're lilies growing. I even have a crazy purslane growing out of that. So much rain that it's like literally knocking down my tomatoes. I'm gonna have to come back by and pick them up. But look at these black currants. They are growing really good. In this pot, I have a squash. This is yarrow. It's a new herb. I'm very excited about it. Over here, these tomatoes are doing great too. And I planted a cucumber here where these bell peppers just weren't making it. And this is slowly climbing up it. So I'm just gonna let it kind of do its thing over there. Over here, peppers are having a nice comeback. Look at the size of this one coming in. I did a bunch of new compost on it, and I added some fish fertilizer. The fish fertilizer seems to have, one of them have done the trick. Now here are my strawberries that I transplanted. The majority of them have died. Some have life coming back, but a lot of them just don't. So I went through and I planted just a ton of bush beans. I figured I'll make use of the space. But some strawberries are here growing. This is a cayenne, and I actually picked a cayenne pepper here. This, I believe, is a habanero, and it hasn't really grown, but all of a sudden I'm noticing there are so many blooms on this teeny tiny plant. So it's kind of exciting. So, okay, green beans, but look at this. This is sweet potato mess. Okay, so that block wall is the end of the bed. They all grow out this way, but I also have a loofah that grew up here, and it's growing a loofah on the side of my fence. So, I mean, like, these sweet potatoes and loofahs are just like, it's gonna be a wall. It's gonna be kind of a mess when I have to come pull them out. I mean, we have the marigolds in the middle. I mean, just look at this. Trying to step over it is fun. So you can see some of these strawberries are making a comeback. Some just aren't. I'm honestly leaving some of the crowns in hopes that maybe something will grow. But I really just have no hope at this point in time. Here's some more tomatoes doing good. They are just going nuts. I'm very proud of these little guys. On this side, I have some peppers that just have not done good. But we did plant some pumpkins in the back. There's 3 over there. That's what my daughter wanted. So they're over there. I am noticing that some of the leaves here, I believe, on my loofahs, I honestly don't know what's what anymore because it is just a mess. But some leaves I've noticed are starting to die, and I'm honestly expecting more leaves to get nasty because of the amount of rain. Oh my gosh, look. Here is, can you see that? Another loofah. I feel like I'm gonna find loofahs all over the place. I have a pretty big one right there. Can you see? It's right there. I'd go in here, but I know there's a big spider. And honestly, I'm not ready to take that risk today. But it just kind of goes. I mean, it spreads all the way down there, way past my garden. In here, we have some cucumbers. Here, pumpkins, hopefully growing. They probably just got pelted beyond belief with the rain. But if I bend down here, there's 1 birdhouse gourd. Oh, let me show you. There's 1 or 2 and then 3 over there. So 3 birdhouse gourds. They're doing great. My okra is officially taller than me this year. The tallest I got my okra is 12 feet tall. So I'm just kind of excited to see how tall I'll get it this year. I do have some sweet potatoes in between to fill up some of the ground space. And then I planted some pole beans here. And I noticed quite a few of them did not grow. So I might go in and plant some more. I do have this tall zinnia making a comeback. But in this bed, I'm honestly about to come snip this Cosmo. It fell. It's just straight up in the way. And as much as I don't want to cut it, it hasn't bloomed. So it's just been kind of frustrating. Oh, I take that back. There is 1 tiny flower now here. And there's a flower about to bloom there. But anyways, it is in the way. And I have a bunch of zinnias that are popping up here from this guy making a mess. So that's why I wasn't too horrible when I pulled them out over there. But in between everything over here, I planted some green beans. So there's bush beans and pole beans in this. I'm just trying to get another wave of them. Okay, I'm filling drops, so I'm gonna hurry. So I have more pole beans here. This is actually quinoa growing. There's some beans, marigolds. Marigolds, look how far they have flopped. But like here, these are all weeds. Go figure. So let's go out front. Okay, this front garden bed is all cleaned up because I took that huge Cosmo out. It was just in the way as my husband was working. We finally just put gutters in the front of our house. I don't know if it's common for you where you are. There was no gutters on our house when we moved here, and it gets so much rain, and it just, our roof covers the front door, but it's still kind of exposed. So it was just time to put in gutters. We had it. Everything up here though is looking lush green. Look at all these flowers. More Shasta's blooming. My mom is really filling in, getting ready. That means fall. I'm noticing light colors on the blueberry. The lighter it is, the newer it is. So that means it's all new growth. We did pick a lime off here. My husband was very excited. And so he got to enjoy some limes. This is his. The lime tree is for him. This lemon balm is doing good. So I have zinnias popping up here. I planted more here in the third. So I'm hoping more zinnias grow. I have a feverfew right here. It's like barely holding on. I'm really, really hoping that it holds on. My mint is filling in. It's also got some mushrooms going. I'm just gonna have to come out here and pull them again. But do you see this new light growth on this little blueberry? That is just so exciting. Okay, it's starting to rain. Let's power through here. Let me get under the tree. Okay, my echinacea has been getting growth. No blooms. I don't think there'll be blooms for maybe another year or two. My parsley I planted over there is doing great. This poor Cosmo, I noticed part of it got trampled, but it will be fine. Things in here are doing okay, but I also still have a major neighborhood cat problem in this bed. And then with the amount of rain we've had, so much is just laying down. So this morning there was a break in the weather. My husband was out here to mow and I was running behind, like in front of him, lifting my plants. So he didn't mow them over because like these poor tomatillos, that nothing supports them. Oh gosh, I just touched a bee. That scared the crap out of me. I must have woke him up or something. Okay, there we go. I'm awake. So like all of this has been flopped over. Like look at these. And this tomatillo down here is just, it's split. So it's just kind of holding on. I was hoping to get tomatillos out of it because there are tons of blooms on them. But let's be honest, I don't know if anything's gonna happen. But some flowers are still growing. I'm letting them grow. And it does look pretty, but you can just see how much is just flopped on the grass. You can hear how squishy it is. Squish, squish, squish. I missed okra. Now it's like a dagger. So that's the only thing with okra. You have to like pick it often. Otherwise, here's another one. I have a few different varieties out front. I don't remember what they are because my label's all washed away. But oh, look at this. This like autumn beauty sunflower is my favorite. This little random ground cherry we had, my daughter's picked a few already. So we are getting things. And then let's finish it up with my bee balm. So pretty. One section I always forget to mention are my roses. Now they don't look anything spectacular right now, but about 2 weeks ago, these were full of white blooms. They are beautiful roses, but I am not deadheading them this year. The reason I am no longer deadheading them is because I want to try to get the rose hips. So the roses are the flower, and roses actually have a fruit. This little nub part behind will now hopefully turn red, become rose hips. So I'm leaving them in hopes those developed. I've never done this before, but rose hips apparently have a lot of vitamin C in them. So we shall see how this works. These are my discount roses. They were super great deal. Like, I mean, I think I paid $3 per bush. They looked worse than they do now. And I planted them and they're doing really good. They keep putting off more roses. So many of these have put off like long sprouts. So we've just kind of tied them up so they weren't all over the ground since they do have roses. My chickens hear me behind this fence, which is another reason I put them here since we live in a neighborhood. We're urban homesteading. Another kind of line of defense between the neighbors and my chickens. So they are doing here, but everything just looks mangy because of this rain. I'm also grateful for neighbors that put up with me because the other side of this fence is my garden. And it's clearly not staying in my garden this year. Can you see that little loofah right there growing? So very exciting. So there's the look of my garden right now. It is a wet mess, like literally, no joke. It's a mess. It's wet. it's still producing things. I'm still hopeful. It's still a lot of rain. I wish I could really send people the rain who need it. I know some people are going through droughts. I see more okra that I need to pick. I just wish I could send it to people who need it. When we moved here, this is one of the things I really didn't know how much rain we would get. Coming from Southern California in a drought, you know, I understand. So I'm gonna go in. It's slowly thundering more and more. It's raining off and on. It's a lot of rain. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Sorry that this week is late. I've literally been trying to get out here with the rain, but can't come out here with the cell phone to film if it's pouring. It just does not work that way with technology. So have a good one. I hope you guys are enjoying your week. Come back again next week for another garden tour. Once my husband goes back to work and we're kind of more on a normal schedule, not enjoying so much family time, I'll come out with more videos. I have plans to show you like what I cook and how I do things during the week. That just hasn't happened right now. So thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate it. And always, if you want to see what I'm doing day to day or more things, come find me on Instagram. I am pretty active on Instagram. Over the past day, I've been sharing a whole lot of bread making and how I do my sourdough. So come over there. You'll find just a little bit more sometimes. It's a tad easier to post. So thank you guys. I appreciate you. I'll see you next time.